Thank you for tuning in today. Down here on location on a job. I'm doing Church of Joy, so by Grace County Middle School, Grace County High School, and also Lawyer Elementary. I had at least one listener come by just a few minutes ago before I got ready to do the broadcast, but he finally walked off. There was a Labrador Retriever Chocolate Lab come by and started barking. So, well, actually he's back now. But, so if there's a dog barking, it's a stray dog. But anyways, I'm doing this on Open the Doors and on YouTube as well. And as you can see, for those that's on YouTube, there's the dog that come by to get an earful, I guess. But anyways, I do want to thank each one for tuning in. Like I said, I'm not at home right now. I'm down here on location at a job. So, if you got any prayer requests, anything, I'll have a prayer broadcast later on tonight, especially if it's urgent. But I'm not home to do the prayer broadcast, and I didn't schedule it because I didn't know if I'd be home in time or not. But anyways, I want to thank each one tuning in, and I hope something's said that will help you in some way. Today, we're going to be in the book of Matthew. Actually, the book of John, I'm sorry. The book of John, chapter 8, starting at verse 30. Then said Jesus to the Jews, which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, them are my disciples. If we continue in his word today, be rooted and grounded in him, we're one of his. Years ago, I had this music group that I started. It was called One of His. On one of the songs, there was three of us. We all gave a testimony on one of the verses, and then we sung the chorus together. But it was something like this: thank God that I'm one of his. You know, even though I've been through the fire, I've been through it all, but thank God I'm one of his. And you know, that's a true testimony today, and that's something that we should stand up for, being one of God's. And he shall know them. He shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's one of the most quoted verses in the Bible. We know the truth, but why are we not living? So many people are out there today going every which way there is, and they claim to be something that they're not. But we know the truth. We know how to do. We know what to do. Sin is sin. No sin's going to enter in. We need to strive to be the best that we can be. We need to strive to reach the closest. We can never get too far away from God. I mean, we can never get too close to God because there never is no stopping point in this. But we can always get too far away from God. And today there's so many out there that's so far away that they can't even hear the voice of God anymore. So many people has lost so much of the sight of God that they even forget how to pray. We've got to keep our eyes upon him today. They answered and said to him, we are Abraham's seeds, and we were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, he shall be made free? Jesus answered and said, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth a sin is a servant of sin. And I'm going to end right there. If you sin today, you are a servant of sin. You are in bondage of sin. Sin will take you farther than you ever wanted to go today. Don't lose sight of God. Don't lose sight of his unforgiving. But always remember that God is a very forgiving God tonight. God is a very merciful God. He can save us. He can set us free. He can make us whole today. In the snow, you can see many sets of footprints. Think of the footprints in the sand. Sometimes, when we're all alone, we're going to see one set of footprints. That's when God's carrying us. Because we're never truly alone today. God is always there with us. He will lead and guide us in all things. And it's time today that we make a decision to serve God. Don't be a servant of sin, but be a servant of God. Don't be a servant of the devil, but be a servant of God. Don't be a servant of this world today, but be a servant of God. Before you, you might see two paths. You see one that's on a regular track. You see one that's kind of off the beaten path. But God will lead and guide us into all things today. He says we have not because we ask not. Whatever you need from Him, He can save you, He can deliver you, and He can set you free today. Sin will take you farther than you want to go, but God will take you farther than you could ever dream of. And there's nothing impossible for Him today. There's no mountain too high, there's no valley too low that God cannot reach. And there's nothing that He can't do. All you got to do today is trust upon the Lord. We all have a past. We all have things that we wish we could change. We all have things that we wish we could erase. And even though we can't go back in time and fix every problem and every mistake we ever made, God can put it in the sea of forgiveness and it'll be remembered no more. He says in Romans chapter 5 that we're new creation, all things pass away, behold all things become new, and walk in that newness of life. Today you can walk anew. Today you can walk afresh. Today you can begin again. Today you can begin anew. And oftentimes when I think back on all the choices I made in life, for a second I'll say, but God, if I could go only back in time,